It's hack, yeah. We're breaking the mold. Code breakers here, dropping gems of gold. From boardroom plays to cubicle hacks, we crack the code so you don't fall flat.
And I'm the Pathfinder, clearing the way, helping you rise up every work day. From first jobs to next level tracks, we teach what works, no fluff, just facts. Hack what, hack yeah.
Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to Hack Yeah, where micro innovation create macro results. I'm Gary Cam, aka the Code Breaker, and here with us, the Pathfinder herself, Kim King.
All right, hey everyone, glad to be back with you.
So today's episode is going to be fire because we're talking about something that affects every single one of us. How to communicate effectively, which is one of my weak point, Kim.
Not anymore. Go ahead. Look,
Not anymore. But not just talking. We're not just talking about talking. Not just dropping the facts, but how to actually get people to listen to you, Kim, right? And understand you.
Right, let's break it down. Effective verbal communication. It isn't just about asking the right words. It's about how you actually say them. It's clarity, tone, confidence, body language, storytelling, active listening. It's all that. Whether you're pitching an idea, sharing a project update, or just vibing one-on-one.
Yeah.
How you speak can seriously shape your career path.
Yeah, so Kim and I had talked a lot about this throughout our encounter from the previous
Okay.
episode, right? 10 years of working there, and there's almost like a lot of our coaching session that you had with me is about this topic.
Yep.
And for me, as someone who migrated from Hong Kong at the age of 10, English is definitely not my strong language. It's my second language, and I have to learn it. And I still have an accent if you compare with a lot of my peers. And I talk super fast. If you notice already, if you've been with us many times here, I talk like a machine gun sometimes.
Yeah.
And I laugh while I talk too. I try my best not to do that in the podcast.
Oh,
but
it's true. Sometimes I gotta jump in like Gary, pause, let everybody catch up, slow down.
Yep.
I laugh too. I laugh when I talk too, so it's not just you.
Correct. And again, honestly, when you combine the speed, the accent, and the mid-sentence laughing, you have chaos. You totally just have a very bad formula there. It can be hard for people to understand you and what I'm trying to deliver and say, especially when they have never talked to me before or talked to the person before. It's very hard, right? So, but here's the thing. They always get my passion.
Absolutely. That's real life stuff. A lot of us, whether non-native speakers, African Americans, we have our own cultural vernacular, ebonics. Younger folks, I don't even know if they have a term for that Gen Z slang. Sometimes we face an extra layer of communication barriers. We're not saying don't be yourself. You have that, you're going to keep that. That's part of you. That's part of your culture, part of who you are. But you have to know your audience.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're dealing with, some from another generation for the Gen Xers, they don't understand some of those words. So know your audience when you're communicating with them.
100%, Kim. So my kids always hit me with word like no cap, sus, drip. I was like, what?
What?
I was like, what the heck are you talking about? And I still don't know actually. So, and they'll explain to me, and I'll be like, whatever, dude. Like, all right. But just think about this. If I brought those words into the meeting, forget about it.
Man, right, forget about it. 'Cause I, for one, wouldn't know what the heck you were talking about. So another thing, let's talk about laughing during talking. And we do it a lot, and some of it is natural, right? Gary and I worked on this a lot because laughing can sometimes be a cover for nerves.
Yes.
Right? And so just like using some of the filler words, a lot of people, you like this, like that, it can really hurt your clarity and credibility.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. that was a huge lesson for me, and we work a lot about that, Kim. I still remember all the lessons that you taught me and talked through. Laughing and talking at the same time was just a habit for me, but it made my message way less effective and clear.
Yeah. So let's hit on a few other common pitfalls. Some of them I just used. The overusing of the filler words. Speaking in a monotone. Speaking in
Which I don't have.
monotone.
I never have that.
Avoiding eye contact. With someone you're speaking to. Using insider slang. Right. We already talked about that. Talking too fast.
Not me.
One of the big silent killers. Your nonverbal cues. Posture. Your tone, your pacing, they all influence how people experience your message.
That's very hit the points, Kim. That this connects with something that's very big for me, executive presence. That's another great episode for another time.
Yep, episode for another time.
We'll definitely drop that one. But I actually had a mentor, and actually I thought about this too yesterday. You pay for a mentor too. I have two mentors. One is Artie. And hopefully you're watching Artie.
Hey Artie.
But one is another pay mentor that stick with me for 12 months to specifically work on executive presence.
Yeah.
So posture, tone, presence, it's not just about how you speak, but how you show up. Even how you walk into a room send a signal, right? So, and that changed my game professionally, Kim, a lot.
Yeah. So, just a quick little plug here for those from corporate America that are watching this. Invest in your people. Gary just said we spent. I don't know how much it actually costs, right? But he got a mentor to work on some of the communication, and it makes him a more effective. It made him a more effective leader. So invest in your people. All right. So how do you improve? One of the best tools is something that most people avoid. Recording yourself, what we're doing now, right? Record yourself.
So, again, this is off the script right now, but record yourself. I mean, think about just what we did too. The first episode we pre-recorded ourselves, we did the whole script, Kim.
Yeah, that's right.
We changed out the whole script because of the recording.
Yep.
So, I was once prepared for an hour-long presentation also. The deck was perfect. The script was tight. I was like, I got this. This is going to be the best presentation ever that I'll do. Then I recorded myself. And I was like, my soul was crushed. Because I was like, this is so boring. The tone was so flat. There's no energy. I was reading off the script. There's no story. The slides was just a bunch of words. It was just bad. So I scrapped 80% of it. And then I simplified the message, used pictures instead of paragraph to slow down my whole presentation and add pauses and build a story. And the end result is night and day. People was actually engaged and they leaned in for the whole time. I was looking at the faces and they were like completely a different audience.
Well, it's because you owned the moment.
Yeah.
You shifted from an information dump
Yep.
to intentional delivery. All right, y'all. Time for some YeA pro tips to level up your verbal communication game. Active listening. Communication is a two-way street. Show people you're truly hearing them.
Listen up, guys.
Practice in front of a mirror. I love to do that. Great for seeing your expressions and your body language.
Yep.
We said record yourself. Instant feedback, right? As soon as you see yourself and you hear yourself, you'll hear and see exactly what others experience.
And actually, to that point too, recording yourself help your posture a lot too. Because I actually, a lot of times when I record myself, I noticed that I was like doing this a lot. And then I was, and I automatically remember myself to sit up straight.
Right. Tell stories. And we said record yourself, and that could be audio, or if you're just trying to hear the tone, the audio or the video, with Zoom or Teams, they let you record yourself. Tell stories. People remember stories more than data. Frame your message around a journey. I joined a speaking group, Toastmasters. I joined that early on in my career. I think, Gary, you probably had some experience or something similar to Toastmasters.
Is very intimidating. I heard.
It is rather intimidating, especially if you're young in your career. You can do that with forming a group of peers and do the same thing that Toastmasters can do. So a local class, even a team meeting, can give you space to grow. Use visuals, not paragraphs of information. Let the pictures and the phrases do the heavy lifting for you in front of the people.
Heck yeah, Kim. Those are amazing. The last one especially hit home for me. level again with the wall of text on the PowerPoint. And that's something that Ozzy actually teach me a lot too. And then the other professional teacher that I had helped me a lot with how to deal with PowerPoint alone.
And that's another podcast. It's coming.
That's another podcast. I mean, this podcast right here has a lot of sub podcasts for sure.
Right.
But Kim, can you share a story? And actually, I know your story, but can you share with the audience about how communication actually make a world of difference that impacted you?
Right. And so, there's several stories, but early in my career, I didn't speak much in meetings. I didn't have the confidence, the self-confidence, came into the corporate setting and was just quiet during the meetings. People came up to me afterwards, and this happened throughout my career. It actually took me a while on my journey, which is why it's part of why we're doing this, to try to help early career along a lot faster than what I did. So I would just sit in those meetings, and then people would come up to me and say, "What'd you think about that?" And then I tell them, one-on-one, and they're like, "I wish you had said that during the meeting." Like, that was a great point, and that could have spurred other thoughts, right? So over time, I got more confident, found my voice. There was one meeting where I listened in, and I also like doing this, pulling everyone's ideas together when we're in a meeting. So as we were talking about ideas of what to do here, I pitched the idea of a supplier award ceremony, but it was after hearing other thoughts that were going on in the room. And you know what? That supplier award ceremony ended up being a huge event. With a charity golf tournament, we raised over $100,000 for our charity of choice, Living Lands and Waters. Shout out to Living Lands and Waters, making our waters cleaner out there every day. It brought visibility, fun, community. It also started with one well-timed idea, spoken clearly, and then everyone else kind of jumped on board with that idea.
Well, so Kim, you forgot that. You mentioned that it's one-time events. It's not one time. Actually, 3 years, right?
Absolutely.
Because of that one time that you spoke up, it extended all the way. Like, it became almost like a legacy.
Our suppliers love going to that
they
event,
all love
right?
going there. And then the leaders did drag a little bit of doing that because it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of planning, but it's great. It's very good cause. So see the power of the communication, right? It's not just about climbing your own ladder now, right? We thought that like this is for self-help. No, this is, yes, it will help you, but what Kim did here, it also created a ripple effect that lift everyone around her. Everyone around you will get lifted up.
So whether you're early in your career or a seasoned vet out there trying to sharpen your edge, this stuff matters. How you speak, and we'll get into another one, what you say, and how do you read your audience again. How you speak shapes how people see you, how far they believe you can go.
Heck yeah, Kim! So thanks again for hanging out with us today on Heck Yeah. We'll be back next Thursday with another drop. In the meantime, hit subscribe, share this episode with someone who is trying to grow, who is trying to especially want to learn about this communication skill set. Definitely connect with us on LinkedIn at Heck Yeah. If you got questions, struggles, any other ideas, we want to hear from you. Tell us what you are wrestling with at heckyeah.com, and we might be covering it in the future episodes. So until next time, Heck Yeah!
It's Hack Yeah. We're breaking the mold. Code breakers here dropping gems of gold. From boardroom plays to cubicle hacks, we crack the code so you don't fall flat.
And I'm the Pathfinder, clearing the way, helping you rise up every work day. From first jobs to next level tracks, we teach what works, no fluff, just facts.